Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
I'm going to take a stab at a segue, though, Mike, from images to the importance of images within your Google My Business profile to draw in customers. And Joy Hawkins finally, after years of me bugging her, although I'm sure that wasn't the real reason that she did it, finally published the results of her ongoing analysis of where leads for her clients are coming from vis-a-vis the GMB profile versus organic results. And it's something that, Mike, you and I have highlighted for years. It's great that Joy finally published this data, which historically had only lived in one slide of a MozCon presentation from like 2019 or something, which went to show that GMB is responsible basically for three to one versus Google organic leads for a whole range of categories. I think insurance, PI lawyers, might have been a dentist in there. I can't remember what the third category was. But it's pretty staggering that GMB is responsible for so much of the ultimate conversion of your customers. And I still think it's just wildly neglected by businesses of all sizes with respect to their SEO investment, right? People are spending all of this time on on-site SEO, and when in reality they need to be focused on the point of contact or the point of decision for a whole range of at least getting customers in the door, which is GMB, and a huge part of that is images. So there's a historic underinvestment in image optimization. A lot of things Mike was just talking about 2 minutes ago. There's, I think, a historic underinvestment in reviews and a historic underinvestment in just general responsiveness to customers on GMB, whether that's leaving questions unanswered or reviews unresponded to. So I just feel like the more that this story gets out there with actual data from studies like Joy's published on sterlingsky.ca, I'm hopeful that will start to move the marketing conversation a little bit to where I think it should be if you want your business to attract customers.
And this trend, which I've identified in Google as Your Homepage presentation, I think in 2017, the Local You Advanced for Barbara Oliver, at that point, 60% of her leads or something were coming from Google My Business directly. When I reanalyzed that 6 months ago, 90% were. So that number is growing as well.
And so Joy pointed out as well that GMB leads are growing across the board in all these categories, whereas organic leads were much more volatile. And that's the other thing is like you're much more subject to the whims of whatever algorithmic update there is. Whereas if you're focused on GMB, you've got a strong GMB presence. That algorithm has seemed to be more stable historically, at least anecdotally to me. And B, it's something that consumers are actually going to see even on a recovery search as opposed to a discovery one.
So I mean, I've heard SEOs disparage the people that are focused on GMB, kind of talk negatively about them, and that this is sort of child's play in the SEO world versus what they're doing, which is a much more elaborate and important function. But in fact, I mean, as you're saying, that you could just concentrate your entire effort. If you were a business that had a physical location or a service area business, you could concentrate your entire effort on Google My Business and be fine, without any organic optimization.
Organic optimization plays into how well you perform in these.
Yes, it's a ranking factor. Right. It's definitely a ranking factor according to Google. But if for a small business that doesn't have a lot of time, doesn't have a lot of money, this is where to concentrate.
Well, the reality of local is you need a website to serve your Google My Business. So in terms of priorities, website and Google My Business are sort of tied for first. But
you can use one of these platforms that has built-in optimization.
Correct. Or you could even, if you were really low end, use Google websites as
you
a
did
proxy.
with that spot to be case study, right?
Correct. So but you do have to have a website. That's what people need to understand as part of this. It could be, a free website. But you have to have one that's visible and indexable and says what you do and where you do it, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, if you invest more in that, you think you're going to do better in Google My Local. But you could satisfy 90% of your demand with those two tools.
Right.
You add email to capture all these customers. You've got a trifecta of future success.
Right.
I mean, my point was only that you would focus your effort, that you would not be distributing your energy and resources equally. I mean, I think there's a longer conversation probably for service area businesses, because sometimes they have trouble in GMB, getting
and in fact, there's
represented.
Reports this week that there's been a decline in SAB.
Bug.
Whether it's an algorithmic update or a bug,
Mike thinks it's a bug.
SABs
right?
have been much more historically impacted by radical changes in GMB than other types of businesses. So
yeah, it's
right, and that's a whole different area and challenging, but. So, all right. So we're at time. Last words today. Any meta words?
I'm going to rebrand as Mike.
Meta Mike.
I'm waiting for my meta profile to start capturing all of these VR followers that I know must be out there somewhere.
I did see that they're coming out with a watch. I'm not going to switch. Just saying.
You're talking about a Facebook
No,
watch?
a Meta watch. A Meta watch, Greg.
A Meta watch. That's not a Facebook watch. That's right.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
Meta watch? Is that the brand?
Yes, I assume.
That's so they can meta watch you all the time.
Bada bing.
Anyway, all right. On that dystopian but yet still humorous note, we'll end today's Near Memo, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.